see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, we are live. Supposedly, sorry guys, I think our streaming material crashed, so we lost some people from Facebook and YouTube. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think you have echo.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, like, on my end, I see that. Are you loudspeaker?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Hmm.
Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah, yeah. It's better now.
I don't know. Why is it so slow? Uh, uh, is it good? It seems to be alright. The CPU is good. Okay, so we have 7 on Facebook joining slowly. YouTube is back online and Twitch is online also. Uh, Hello, guys. I'm trying to figure out because I have a delay in my screen. Hello. Hello. Okay, so we would need, guys, from you to have a little chat, a little hello in the chat, and tell us if the sound is good, if the video is good. Richmond, hello, welcome back, Richmond. Glad you could make it this week again. Okay, so on Facebook, it seems to be all good. What else? Is there someone from YouTube that can say if okay, and Twitch? Audio is good. Perfect. What about YouTube? Is YouTube, guys, good? We have only few viewers on YouTube at the moment. YouTube. Hello, Chris. Hello, Jeneline.
Hello.
Who else is here? Come on, we need YouTube power and Twitch power. Can you thumbs up? Can you say good? Sound, video, we never know. We don't want to move forward. Hello, Joseph. Okay, many viewers joining on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook very popular. Okay, YouTube, guys. Someone can say, oh, on YouTube, audio is good also. Thank you, Richmond, for switching to YouTube and letting us that it was good there also. So awesome. And I think the only one single viewer on the other streaming Violet platform will probably declare himself later. And maybe it's a bot, we never know. Um, so if on the other streaming platform you want to comment and say hello, but you have to create an account and stuff. So, okay. So we are good to get started, right?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
do this.
So first, let's introduce ourselves. Hi, Cleo.
Hi, Baptiste.
How are you
So,
doing today?
nervous. I hope I'll be. Yeah, it's every Thursday, but then, yeah, I'm doing good and safe also. And thanks to work from home. And then, yeah, all good. And you? How are you, Baptiste?
Yeah, same working from home, same location, same computer. Sometimes it's tiring, but yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're uh, we're in good shape, and we're allowed to go a bit out. So I play tennis, so I exercise, which is good. So I lost a few kilos I gained before. And guys, Cleo said that she's a bit anxious today, as every Thursday. Can you warm her up? Can you tell her how awesome
Hello.
is it to have her to dedicate our Thursday night to teach you guys, to teach me, to teach all of us React Native, no, ReactJS, React Native maybe one day, Node.js, MongoDB, and what else? We have many cooking. Cheer her up. We want chat. We want chat. We want chat. For
Yeah,
Cleo. Thumbs
it
up for
will be
Cleo. And claps.
sure.
We want claps, 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 claps. All right. So, Cleo, introduce yourself. Go, go,
Um,
go, Cleo. From
uh,
Ryan. Yeah, but Ryan, you have a little bias.
Hi, so my name is Cleo. I teach every Thursday, and I'm a software developer at Startechup. Mostly, I work with JavaScript and Python, and yeah, awesome to be here. And the entrepreneur in the house. Yeah, can you introduce yourself?
I could. I'm Baba, short for Baptiste, and I created Startechup 7 years ago. I built a team of awesome software developers to work on many projects from mainly abroad. We work with Europe, etc., US, Canada, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore. And yeah, we love software development. I love working here with our talented guys. So happy to be here. Happy to be here. All good. So let's go. Let's jump. Hi, Rochelle. Thank you for joining again this week. So now we have a real clan. Like every week we have the same guys joining. So which is awesome, guys. Keep it up. So the agenda for today. Same as always, we do a quick reminder just to make sure we don't lose track. So we'll go through the Startechup Academy overview quickly. I will be brief today because I think you're all very familiar with that, Globe Drop. Then Cleo will talk about what we will discuss today, live coding and breaks and live coding and many more live coding. So we will support and we will try to debug live with Cleo. Maybe Cleo today will have some bugs. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Who knows? Who
yeah,
knows?
we never
That's the beauty
know.
of software development. So okay, let's go straight to okay, today's agenda. Okay, so Startechup Academy first. F11. Okay, so free online courses for software developers. We will teach front-end, back-end, mobile, server admin, AI, whatever we want, guys. We are here to have fun. The mission of Startechup and of the Academy, for me, it's important. It's a world where, regardless of citizenship, race, color, gender, work and career opportunities can be given to people to have a greater quality of life. Because IT people, I think we are not bad, especially during this pandemic. We still all have our jobs. We are safe at home. Nobody is bothering us for working remote as many other jobs could not. So it's quite a cool career. But of course, you have to like geeking around. And the mission, build a learning framework. So we really try our best. And it's only the fifth session, so bear with us if it's not perfect yet. We are still learning a lot. So the framework is for talented developers or aspired people that are interested in software development to be able to enjoy the framework that we're putting together. Where? Every Thursday, 7 to 10 p.m., Facebook, YouTube, and the Purple streaming platform. And yep, so sign up, try to sign up if you see the events around so we can send you reminders by email. That will be great. What? For now, we've been tackling backend development, with Node.js. We are still on front-end development with React.js. We are the third session of React.js, and we are extending it to another fourth session because React.js is very complex. It's massive. There is a lot to discuss. So next week it will be probably again about more React.js. And then hopefully we will reveal what's gonna be the next one. Work together. Check our GitHub, GitHub Startechup.org. That's where we share all our repositories that Cleo is working on. All the material is there. It's public. And the purpose is really try to put everybody under the same. So we created groups. So all the students, they can join us there also if you share with us your GitHub account. So actually, guys, already on the chat, so I can do it while Cleo is streaming. Share with me your GitHub profile, GitHub user ID, so I can add you already into our GitHub groups. So like that, we can also review your code if you have any challenges later on, etc. We have a Facebook group closed for only the people following the stream or the videos, Startechup Academy. And we have a Discord where we are there to be started talking about the learning material, and the training itself. And because the academy, the purpose is to provide job opportunities for all of you guys. So the more you learn, the more you earn in a certain way. That's some they say. So we still have the two job positions because I don't know why for the pandemic nobody wants to leave home and nobody is applying job. It's very dead on the job portals lately. Usually we receive a lot of applicants, but not lately. I think people they don't want yet, or they are probably still in their province. But still, we are looking for two senior positions to fill up: React.js senior, and Laravel senior. So these two positions, and we actually have a referral. Let me see, because it's hidden with my camera. And we have a referral. We can give you money, guys, if you refer the guy that will be hired. So please share it with your friends. Make sure they check out on Startechup. We have the career page, and you have these two job opportunities there. So that is for the Startechup Academy. Then we have okay, I could do that. So Globedrop. Let's go back to Globedrop. Globedrop, we decided to use this application because we believe it's an application that can be inspiring, etc. So it's a front end. Well, that's the front end development that we're discussing now. So Globedrop is an application where is my I think it went too far. Globedrop is a geolocation application, same as TripAdvisor in a certain way, where we will geolocate all the NGOs, all the cool organization that needs a lot of our support for, orphanages, senior home, environmental organizations, organization helping street kids, all these different NGOs, non-governmental organizations. It's an application we created 5 years ago, or actually no, 7 years ago with the Startechup team. We had a lot of success back then, so we pulled out the application because we had to revamp completely the application, and we are gonna revive it through teaching and through common sharing. So the purpose is really building an organization list, same as Yellow Pages if you want. And then we have many different type of users that can administrate their own organization. And then there will be people that will be interacting with them as volunteers, as people willing to send donations, in-kind donations, supposedly, etc. So that's the application we're trying to build. And today for the course React.js, it's fairly simple. We need to get started with the simple login, sign up, check the list of organizations already in our database. Every time that a new user is logging in, we need to be able to see him as an admin, as a super admin, etc. So we'll go more into details, and that is the raw mockups. And that's about it for me. And I will hand you over to Cleo, so she can tell you exactly what she will be going through today. Your turn, Cleo.
Yes, so thank you so much again for joining us tonight. So for those who haven't been joining us on the previous session, this is a front end development with React.js. So this is a part of a series where we learn full stack web development with one of the most popular stacks out there, JavaScript stack, the MERN stack. So on the previous four sessions, yeah, I think four sessions. Yeah, for we discussed MongoDB Express and Node, where we basically deployed the backend application, and you, so that you guys will be able to uh, use the APIs whenever you try to follow along our material. So it's here. This is the live backend. And so just a recap from the previous session 2 for React.js. What we did was after we initialize our screens, so these are the screens that Baptiste just showed. Uh, we were able to integrate the API for login using the useState hook. And again, useState states are like it's something that you can use on because components can manage their own data, so it's the local state, and then you'll be able to use this one, and then we by doing this we are able to integrate API into a component. So that's here in the sign in page. So we have a login API call here, wherein this will be triggered upon handle submit. So handle submit is the action that we have on our form, and then handle submit will perform these operations wherein we have prevent default, so that the the what's this the form will prevent the form from auto submitting, and then having this check validity for the form, and then if all else is good, then we execute the API call which we have here. That's what we did. Another thing is login conditional rendering for our header. So in our header, we actually created a utils function here, auth.js, that will basically store details about our user. For example, after our login, we store we store relevant information in our local storage. So let me open that up. So here in our application, we have this. We have the NGO directory auth, which basically returns the access token, and then the user details. And we also have the login timestamp, which is useful for token expiry, and then also the user ID, because we will still be implementing better ways in order for us to access the user details, and of course the user ID. But for now, but last week, for demonstration purposes, we just save it as a local storage, in the local storage. So yeah, is login conditional rendering. So that's here. So we have auth.isLogin util function that will basically return true or false. If we have this data, then that means our user is authenticated. Then we have time limit and token expiry, and we also have here, we parse the NGO directory auth value, and then we apply that in our header. So our header here, so the conditional rendering is for the button. So if our if our user is logged in, then that means the label of the button would be logged out. And then if it isn't, then it's logged in. So you may be wondering, why not just change the label of the button? It's because this logout will have a different function to be executed for its on click method, and also login will have a different method. That's why it's two elements placed on the conditional render statement. Okay, and next is the display of organization using the useEffect hook. So in here, we were able to display the organizations you manage. So from our backend, we created there an API wherein for a certain user, you'll be able to identify what organizations are assigned to you. So this is using an API call, and this is also this one is for the other organizations, all organizations that we have in our database. So two API calls, and we were able to do that by using a hook called useEffect. So let's go here. So here, so useEffect acts like for those of you familiar with the lifecycle methods, it uh, it it replicates the component did mount lifecycle in React. So here, what we use this in order to get an API call to get the data ready before actually before displaying the cards that we have in our NGO directory page. So this one for all organization, and this one is for the 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 managed organization by the user, and we pass it with the parameter. So here we were able to call it, and so use effect again is used for it's like tracking the side effects in React, because in our normal React lifecycle we don't normally include the API calls, so it's considered as a side effect. So use effect is used to handle that. And what else? So passing access tokens to an API call. So we also created a in our organization's API. So here we we actually in our utils auth, we retrieve the token which is saved in our local storage, and we call that util function in order for us to pass the authorization header here in the API declaration, instead of actually putting that in the NGO list component. So here what we did was just call basically the API call, not so that it's much cleaner. And then protected routes. So we're able to restrict our routes to only be accessed by our authenticated users. So for example, here, um, if I'm already authenticated, then that means I won't be able to go to the login page. So that then I'll be redirected to the list. If I go to sign up page also, yes. Then if I we don't implement the logout yet, so I'll just do a manual logout here, which means I will be deleting all of the information that we have in our local storage. And see, if I'm not authenticated, means I don't have this information here. If I click list, then that means I will be redirected to the sign in. Okay, so last so now we are ready to do what's in our agenda. So for today's session, we will be breaking out the NGO list page, because as you can see here, NGO list actually actually has redundant components here. For example, here container. So if we try to minimize this, we can see it's using the card grid, and we're also using the card here, card element. It's the same here, grid and then the card. So we need to break that up into we need to because React is built upon the idea of reusable components. So when you see something that's been repeatedly used in your mother component, then we should break that up to pieces and make them reusable. So yes, and we also initialize our admin dashboard, because we will be using that for the routing by user type. So when we log in, if we identify that the user is actually a super admin, then instead of like going to the slash list route, it will go to the admin dashboard, admin route. And here we will be, and today we'll also be talking about the third of the three basic hooks in React, which is use context, which will be very helpful in simplifying the utils of that we have. We will also work on the list table. So here we will be using another component in Material UI, which is the table. It's basically just to list out the users that we have in our database. And we've only worked on with the login so far. So we will also integrate sign up. And we will tackle about using alerts. So for example, what if your user actually inputted the wrong credentials? So there should be like a mini, what's that, mini thing in there in red that says invalid username or password. And then finally, for our if hopefully we will be able to cover all of this. So we will have the dialog model for our NGO list. Remember, we have the view and edit button in our cards. So we will need to implement a pop-up for that or model in order for us to add an organization, to edit an organization, and to view the details of that specific organization. So that's for today, and let's get started. So last thing, we actually have encountered a bug. So the bug that we encountered was that wait, let me revert it. Let me comment this one because this is the fix. Mm, so let me run this again. There, just to show you the bug that we have. It's not defined. Okay, because I didn't comment this. Okay, so let me go to my React app here. Mm, okay, so let's sign in. As you can see here, our header is already correct. We are already able to do the conditional rendering. We also save the things that we want to save in the local storage. But however, things here in our view is still the sign in page. We don't want that. What we want is it will be redirected to our list page. So what happens here is that the fix is, because we declared this outside our private and public route, that means that whenever our values are changed, it won't be updated. And so that's why we need to transfer this one inside our private and public route. And we have to do that both because they have they will call isLoggedIn and isLogout on their respective routes. Okay, so let's try it again. I'll I'll delete this, and then let's sign in again if we already get that the correct implementation. Mm-hmm. So, so as you can see, we're already able to redirect to our list. And so the next thing that we have to do, as you can see here, we have we're basically having redundant components here. Which are the redundant components? It's basically the organizations you manage and then the other organizations, right? So we have to break that down into child components. So let's create here uh, a child component for the grid, and then the grid will contain. Let's go back to our NGO list. Yes, here. So our grid will contain our card. So let's first create the card because that's like the most the inner component. So let's create a file here, and let's say organization card.js. And let's create one also for the grid. Grid.js. Okay. So let's extract the card. Hmm. So the card. Hmm. I'll just copy this everything, and then I'll just delete whatever is not used. Okay. The next would be the styles. So let me copy everything again, and I'll just delete what's not used. So the styles. Then right after is the render function, our component structure. So I will extract. Mm, so okay, I'll go to the container. Okay, and then grid. Yeah, grid item. So I will extract this one until until here. Okay, and I will put this in the card. So that's what's inside our component. Uh, let's shift tab. So first, let's create the function. So let's say const organization card. Okay, and then we have the classes because we have styles. So const classes. Then we will have the return, the render. So return. Then we will put this inside. Okay. Then we will export this export default organization card. Okay, we're not done with that yet. So let's just have that for now. The next thing we will do, okay, I will delete this unused things in here. So this one and this. Okay. So the next thing that I will do is for the container or the outer grid. So let's do that. It's still error here because we're doing this, but then that's okay. I'll go with the grid. So going back to our NGO list here, what we will extract is actually, wait, mm, wait, okay, this one. I need to extract this and put this inside the 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 grid component. Because what we will do here is that we already have the API function, and then we store the organizations that we have, and we will pass these organizations in the child components. So this one, I will put this inside the grid here. So let's also let's have our imports. I think I only have React and the grid here. So React and grid. Okay. And then I will also need to import the card. So I will say import uh, organization card. Organization card from mm, okay. And then in here, instead of wait, not we're not yet done. So we will create the component itself. Say organization grid, and then I will wait for my. I will discuss what's props. We will put in some parameters here to render our cards. But let's build the component first, and then export default mm, organization grid. Okay, and then let's have the return, and let's put this inside. So in here, the next thing that we will have to do is put the. Okay, let's go back to our index.js. Let's go back here, and let's try to import our components. So I'll import here the grid. So what I will import here is just the grid. Import organization grid. No, it's capital. Wait, never mind. Organ organization grid from. Okay. So in here, just below the typography, so we will call in here the organization grid. But in here, we will be passing what we call what we call properties. So just like in HTML, image src, properties are what you pass a certain component for, and you can use this component. You can use this properties for whatever your component will be using them for. So in this case, we will be passing an organization organizations props. So and okay, let's finish this first. So I'm gonna say closing in there. So here, what I will pass is the data that we have, which is the organizations. This is the organizations you manage. Okay. So I'll say what's the state again? Manage organizations. Okay. I'll pass that inside uh our child component. Okay, and in our child component, the child component should also receive that. So here, since we passed in an organization's prop, it should receive that. So here, we will accept organizations, and then we will do the mapping here inside our grid. So when I say organizations dot map, then we will have the card, and then inside the card, inside here, we will call our card component. So organization card. And then here, we will also pass properties going to our organization card. So since we are mapping through, we need a key for for the cards, for the array of cards that we will have. So key. So let's have the card ID, card underscore ID, and then next would be let's just call it. This is the card details. So the organization detail. Okay. So we have specified this, but then we need to have also our organization card accept them. So it says here card is not defined because we're not accepting it yet. So here, let's put that in our parameter here. Let's say card, and then when we try to run this, it will all it's all good. So let's see what's the difference. Let's go back to our front end, and so as you can see here, it's being rendered just the same, but we don't have the picture. Why don't we have the picture? So let's go to the network. I think we have a problem with the parsing of data because we didn't have the same data here. So let's go back to our organization card. Mm, okay, here. So we have this as an image, then image title. Okay, so that and then car.org name. Let's see what data we have. So okay, now it's rendered. So this means it takes time for our image to load. But then we don't have any title here. So let's see what could be. Let's try to see. We have organizations. So okay, let's try first to implement the same thing with the other organizations. Maybe we will see what's what could be the mistake in there. So just the same, the after the typography here, we will have the organization grid. We will remove this. Mhm. So okay, organization grid, and then we pass in organizations. Then this time this will be organizations. Okay, try to run it. And so now it's doing the same thing, but then we need to find out we need to properly parse the data that we have in our cards. So let's trace. Let me remove first this unused. And so let's try to log uh, let's try to log our organizations here. Mm. Let's see the log. So the structure is uh card. Okay, let I actually had a mistake. We should log it on the card. So here, right after. mm, Wait, let me undo that. So that we'll see the structure that we will have uh, for our data. Mm, should I place this inside JSX? Okay, I think we need to destructure this as card instead of. Let's try if this works. Oh, we have an error. Okay. Mm, Organizations map, then card. Because we're already in our map, so this means that it is already iterating. Mm, but we need to find a way in order for us to know. Okay, I think I know now. Okay. So what went wrong was that we need to, since we're passing entire card data, we need to destructure it upon receiving on the organization card. So yes. So as you can see, it works the same with what we had before, but it's much cleaner, and we're able to shorten our code and reuse our component. So when you try to build components in React, you have to think like that, thinking in components. Okay?
Cleo, we got a comment from Gatsby saying instead
Mm-hmm.
of getting card, try to destructure it, doing const organization card and the card.
Yeah, that's what we did
Good.
here.
And
Yeah.
we have another comment from Joel saying how many validation to password. I'm not sure exactly what's the meaning of the question, but do you have any idea?
Validation.
Yeah,
Uh, that means in the sign in.
yeah, I guess.
We actually didn't have form validations yet, but we didn't have the password validation and all that yet. But what we have is here we're trying to check is if our form is valid in terms of the properties that we have here in our fields. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. So we're not yet doing the strict form validation like is required or yeah things like that. So any more questions?
No more for now. You can carry on. Thank you guys, and feel free to comment. I will make sure to relay your questions to Cleo when she's teaching.
Okay, so now that we have done that, the next thing we need to do is create our admin dashboard. Let's just have an empty page for now, okay? Because what we will do as we progress is when we log in, we need to redirect our user to the admin dashboard if it's of type super underscore admin. So as of now in our code here, we don't have let's close this. We don't, as you can see in our views, we don't have the admin dashboard yet. So let's create that. Um, okay, let's create a new folder. Oh no, here, okay. New folder, not inside here. Let's say admin dashboard. Okay, so inside our admin dashboard, we actually have a template here. But then let's just keep it simple first. So we have a template here from Batiste here. But then let's just have an empty page for now, just for the sake of routing. So I'll probably just have the NGO list index page. So I'll create also a file here called index.js. And so let's just remove first all of this because we will not need them for now. Okay, let's call this admin dashboard. So I hope the concept about properties is clear to you. So it's a way of like passing data from your parent component to your child component. And as you can see in what we've implemented, the parent component is the index.js, and then we have the grid, and then we have the card. So we have that kind of inheritance within our components. So as your application goes big, you can also have those nested components, and you will be using props in order to make communication with them. Or if your app gets too complicated, you can use a state management library like Redux. So in here, I'll just have the typography.
Quick heads up, Cleo. It's already 5 to the hour in 1 minute. So as soon as
Mhm.
you're done with we can have a small 5 minutes break for you to have a little rest.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll first. Okay. I think this is good. I think I still need to use the classes here. Mm. Let's try to run this. This is not needed anymore, and the grid also, as well as the use state and use effect. Okay, and then let's call this in our app.js. So let's import this component here. Import admin dashboard from views. Okay, and let's put this first. Just for now in a public route. So the path will be, let's say, exact. Because we're just initializing this for now. So let's say hmm, let's say slash admin, and then component should be the admin dashboard here. Okay, let's try to run this. Mm. Let's wait for it to render. Mm. Come on, react faster. Okay. Then let's go to our admin public route. And it's just NGO directory. I forgot to rename this. Let's say admin dashboard. Admin dashboard. And then this, okay. 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 So I think let's have a 5-minute break, Batis.
Okay. Okay, guys,
Mhm.
so let's have a 5 minutes break for water break and a small rest break, and we come back in 5 minutes. And please make sure you ask us any question on the chat. Okay, see you in few minutes. Okay, guys, we are back.
Joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, React hooks. Okay. So we are back and then let's continue. So now that we have our admin, it's this admin dashboard. So I need to delete the other one. Yeah. So this is set on the public route for now, but let's discuss first the use context. Then after we will we will try to use some properties in our context to restrict to enable our routing by user type. And so here, wait, why is it not loading? So let me go to the React.js documentation. Hmm. For some reason, it's taking a long time. But anyhow, so we have React has three basic hooks: the use state, use effect, and the use context. So we've discussed the use effect and use state, and now it's time for us to know about use context. So to know about the use context hook. So we have here our utils function, right? So we use this auth utils function in order to handle everything that we need for our user. That includes the IsLoggedIn flag, the token expiry, time limit, and also here this one we're using this to retrieve the token that we have in our organization API here. And so when and there are times that it can be cumbersome to maintain this kind of setup because there are times that your components will need to have more more uh, more functions and more data, not just this, but it can evolve to something complex, and that's why it's a, that is why we can use context for our authenticated users. We can have functions like log in, log out, and data related to user like the user details and all that in order for us to use and so context is actually like data or functions that you can pass in different components that you have. And so is it already okay here? So as you can see, use state, use effect, and use context. So you can read more about context in their documentation. So first thing that we have to do is we have to create a folder, a directory for our context. So let's create a folder. Now here I'm gonna call it context. No, no, wrong. So it should be outside. Okay, here. So context. So inside context, I will have a file here, and I'm gonna name it auth.js. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is, of course, import React. Let me close some of these files here so that okay, React. And then let's uh let's have the create context. So in here just like what we how we use the use effect and use state. So in here create context. Okay. So creating a context is like this. You store it in a variable. So I'm gonna name it auth context. and then I'm gonna say create context. And so for for every context, we also need a provider. So provider will set the value you have for your context. It could be for your functions or for your data, and we need to create that. Uh, so first is let's create auth provider function. So auth provider. So inside the provider, it should receive props. Oh no, it's not a variable. It says function. Okay. So let's have here a return function, which will be our auth context provider. So return uh, and auth context dot provider. And and inside here will be the values that you will have for your context. So we'll have value here. Okay. And then after that is okay, let's just have that for now. So inside our function, we will have states. So here cons, let's say user, we will have a state that will save the user data that we have, set user. And since we're saving our user data in our local storage, there is actually there is a custom hook called use local storage. So it's let me go to that here. So let's wait for that to load. So here I'm gonna create some file in my utils. Is it already loaded? Okay, not yet. It's taking a long time. So here, let me create a file in my utils folder. I'm gonna have a folder here called hooks. And inside hooks will be use local storage.js. So use local storage.js. Okay, is it already done? For some reason, it's taking a long time. But then use local storage acts like a use state. That's why we can guarantee that our value is updated whenever we have things that we want to fetch from our local storage. And in this way, we are trying to create our own hooks, but then it's for the use of retrieving values from our local storage. It's taking a long time to load because this is actually a file here, a file with a code, but then I have it on my other screen. So let me just fetch that. So in here, so in the link that I was trying to access, you can actually like fetch this code. So basically, it's your custom hook. Use local storage. So here store state we have key and initial value, and then yeah. So you can wait. Is it already loaded? Okay, here finally. So sync state to a local storage so that it persists through a page refresh. Usage is similar to use state, except we pass in a local storage key so that we can default to that value in a page load instead of the specified initial value. So this is basically this is This is what we have here in our code. So yeah, you can use that to uniform your, instead of going to the component and say local storage at get item. So it can get messy. So it's good to have a uniform way of fetching from your local storage, and having the hooks way is way better. So let's have that, and then let's go back to our context. So where is our context again? Yeah. So here, let's import the use local storage hook that we have. So here I'm gonna say import use local storage from utils slash hooks slash use local storage. Okay, so in here we can say use local storage, and then we will be fetching the user. You can also say the same about the authentication. So let's have another state here. Auth, then set auth, and same. But this time, what we will be fetching from our local storage is actually the ngo directory auth, because that will be for the token. Uh, okay, here we will be fetching this one. So use local storage ngo directory auth. Hmm. Yeah, so we're able to export it already. Okay. So the next thing is the timestamp. So we have login timestamp, right? So we actually don't have the user. So let's adjust our login to actually store the user that we have. So so let's go to our sign in, and then here instead of let's just have this, and then like that, response that data that user, and then let's set this to user. That will be good. And then go back to our auth.js. So we will fetch the timestamp here. So it's basically what we're transforming this thing into a context version. So login timestamp, set login timestamp. Okay. And this time still use local storage, but then the key would be different. So what's the key again? Login underscore timestamp. Login underscore timestamp. Okay. So the next thing we have to do is we need to recreate the flag, the isLoggedIn flag. So here, let's say cons is logged in. Okay. And we're gonna say if not, we're just like what we did here. We're forcing a boolean value out of a null. So that's what we did also here, but then it's already not coupled to a single line, just like what we did here, because we have the use local storage hook already. And then next thing we have to do is check if it's is super admin. So here we're slowly building up our route feature. So if user is not null, then user type also it's not null. Then if it's equal to super underscore admin, because we actually have a super admin account already. If not, then we set it to false. Okay. Not. So another thing that would be helpful are the functions aside from this one. So the functions are log in and log out. So here, our current implementation is that our API is directly called within the function, right? Using the wait here. But let's create a context for this particular API call. So let's go to context. Let's create another function here. Let's call it login. Let's say data. So here, let's call in our API, utils API here. So, hmm, so import API utils API.js. Okay, this one. So going back, API from utils slash API. Okay. So you may be wondering, oh, so if you're gonna call that that specific way, then probably your login here will not be used anymore. So yes, that's correct. So we can remove this, but let's finish first the implementation here. So we have here data, then we will return this. The return statement would be API dot post. Then our path would be user slash login, and then the data that we have. Then we can have it in a wrap in a then promise. So then response. Okay. So in here, after we log in, we can already use the set user hook. So set user. This will be like the response which we have here. So re response that data. If data is not null, then it will be the user. Actually, what I did is not it's not useful because we're setting the user here. So I actually did that also here, but then yeah. Anyhow, so set next would be set auth, which means it's basically the NGO directory auth response dot data. And then finally is the timestamp. So set login timestamp would be because we're basically the timestamp is the time now. So we will be using new date, just like what we did here. Uh, timestamp this one. So let's do that. Okay. So now that we're done, after this is we need to return the response. Okay. You may be wondering, yeah, you've been doing that, so what now? So inside here, we will actually wrap the things that we did inside our auth provider function. We will be wrapping that up with our context provider. So we will be putting our user here. So because we have our state here, we have our auth, and we have our timestamp. So we will be needing all of those. Set user. Yeah, we will be needing set user also in case there will be changes in our. We need to get the real time data for every change in our user for the component. So set user, and then we need auth also. Then we need login timestamp. Okay. We need login also. Okay. So finally, let's do one more thing, which is the logout. So as you can see here, the user functions and data that we have is really centralized. So logout, uh, we will not have a parameter row function. Wait, row function, and let's say we will return a promise. Return new promise, then resolve resolve. Okay, then a row function. Then inside is we will be setting the user auth and timestamp into null. So here set user, then null. So this will be same for our auth and our timestamp. So set auth and then set timestamp. Then of course after setting that to null in our state here, because whenever probably when we have components that are using this context values that we have, when we don't set them to null, then the value would persist, and so it's important for us that when we log out, we clear out everything. And so next thing is the remove item. So when we log out, we will be removing the things in our local storage. So that would be local storage dot remove item, and then we will have these keys here. So ngo directory auth, the login timestamp, and finally is the user. All of the things that we set, we have to wait. What happened? Okay. So we need to set that to. We need to remove that, and then finally, since this is a promise, we'll pass our resolve and then say done. Okay. So we will also include logout in our context provider here. Uh, Logout. Okay. So now that we have our auth context, we will need to create our own hook. So we'll say const use auth. So as you can see, when you're trying to use hooks, they have this convention that they have use on the word, and then what is it? Is it for use local storage, use history, use state, use effect, yeah, use context. So here we're creating our own hook. It's a use auth, and then we're wrapping that up with our context. So use context, then auth context. Okay. Then we need to export this to here. So auth provider, our function, and also our use auth. Okay, that was quite long. Okay, let's try to save that. So now we have our context. The next thing we'll do is actually use the context. So uh, in in creating a context, we have idea. We have the what's this? Thinking of there's a provider and consumer relationship. So provider, as I said, they set the value here of the the data and functions that you will have for your context. And then the consumer, they're the ones who will use the context. For example, your components. And so we need to, for the component that you want, that will be using your context, you need to set the provider in there. And so in our case, since we want to use context everywhere in our app, we need to call it here in our routes. So but you can specify it. For example, I just want to call the, okay, I'll import first the auth provider, so that you'll know what I'm talking about. So in here, you'll say import auth provider. Wait, auth provider. Then wait, from context auth. Uh, yes. So this is how you import auth provider. And in this case, we want it to use anywhere in our code. That's why we put it inside our routes. So this is how you wrap your this is how you use the auth provider, declare them. So in this case, I will put the ending closing tag after the switch. Just okay. So in this case here, set timestamp is not defined. Let's go to set set timestamp auth.js context set timestamp line. What's this? Line 31. Set login timestamp. Okay. 31. Okay. Then this should be good. Okay. So let's go back. So here, this is how you call auth provider. It's just like calling a component. So for example, in my card, I want to use auth provider. So I can copy this, go to my card here, and I can basically wrap everything here with auth provider. So this is an example of using providers with a very specific component. So we can do it like that. But in our case, let's call it everywhere so that we can use our use auth hook anywhere in our application. But that's just for demonstration purposes. So here we now have that. The next thing that we need to do is actually convert the things that we use with the utils auth here. We used before is login, right? Auth dot is login. Now instead of like calling this, we need to use the context. So here we need to use this is logged in. Is that actually called? Wait, I forgot to export that. Mm, yeah, I forgot to export that. So need to export also this because this is super helpful, especially in the header and in our routing, like our restrictions for our public and private route. Okay, so yes. So the next thing is going to the first thing that we used with IsLoggedIn is actually our views index.js, which contained our declaration of our public and private route. So where is it again? Here. Yeah. So you can see here auth, utils auth, then IsLoggedIn. But we need to use the context now. So So first is let's try to comment this and then say import use auth and then from um, context auth context. Okay. So how will we use this? First is just like how you try to use a hook. I will be using two things here. Is logged in and the user. So I so how do I know that I can use that? It's one of the things that I actually exported here in my context provider. So going back to here. So I say is logged in and user. Okay. And then use auth. Okay. So now we won't be needing this. And we also need to use this on the public route. Okay. The next step we have to do is actually implement the routing by user type. So in here, in order for me to implement that, I need to add another property in my private route, and I'm gonna call that allowed roles. Okay, and I'm gonna set that into an array, and then I'm gonna tweak a little bit the logic that I have here. So whatever is added here in what other what's that properties you have, it will be carried out, and then we have rendered props here, and then I will have another what's this? I will have an if statement, okay, for our is super admin. So that so I'm gonna say if wait. So this will be return. Okay, if I think there's something wrong. Wait. Let me just go back to what it was. Okay, like that. And then first is okay, I see. I need this and I need to put this inside. Wait, I'm gonna say okay, return. Okay. So I'm gonna put an if statement here. If allowed allowed roles, that length is greater than 0, that means there is a what's this? It contains something because we will put that in the app later on when we define our routes. So we have that, and then and if allowed roles, if not allowed roles includes user, user should not be empty, and user type. Okay, so I should, and then this would return me something. So here, this means that okay. So here This means that if 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 I don't have anything on my allowed roles, that means this is not a super admin. So I will direct it to the sign to the main to the base path. So return uh, redirect to. Okay, okay. So that's it for the private route. It will check if this is having a value. If not, then it will redirect to the main page. If not, if it's is logged in, and if it's logged in, then it can render the component to wherever it is. And if not, if it's not logged in, then it will still redirect to the sign in page. Okay, that's for our private route, and let's go to our public route. So here, nothing much has changed except for adding the is super admin. So we have that, and then um, in here, instead of user, we will use is super admin. Okay. So remember again, our is super admin is here and here. Oh, open. Okay. So there, and then I will have a I will have a condition again. So is logged in and is restricted. Um, redirect to. I will add some here. I will say I will check if it's a super admin. So let's say is super admin. If it's true, then I will redirect it to the admin page. If not, then I will direct it to the list because it's authenticated user. Okay? And if not, then it will just render the component. So now that we have that, let's go to our app. So in here, um, we have our public route header. Then we also have we will have a let's convert our admin into a private route, and then admin, and then admin dashboard, yes, and then let's put in the allowed routes, allowed roles. So and then let's put in JSX, and then here let's set the value that to super underscore admin, then exact. Okay, I think they should work. So let's get rid of this ngo list index.js. So the grid, so that we will not have warnings, because if you have warnings, then you will not be able to run npm run build. So let's go here. Let's go back first. Let's try to clear this out. Okay, invalid hook. Cons use auth. Let's go to our use auth. Use context. Use auth. Okay. We need to call it to a function. Okay. Try that. Let's see if it works. Now it's It's blank. Hmm. Let's go back to our app.js.
Would it be the time for asking the community to help you out on debugging that one?
Yeah, sure. If you have any suggestions on why is it not like running, so let us know. So there should be like a mistake here.
I'm sure
So
there are some experts that can help out, have
mm,
the eagle eye on what's happening. So guys,
mm,
comment if you know how to resolve it. Welcome to the software development world.
yeah. So yeah, restricted true. Mm-hmm. So I think this sign up private route admin. Okay, let me put this on the bottom part.
Gatsby is saying try to restart the server, the dev server.
Okay, like from the top, like not really like refresh. I'll wait for a while. Let me try something. But then this won't matter actually because uh, oh, I see. We didn't have the exact path here. No duplicate props allowed. Oh, we already have. Sorry about that. Okay, Gatsby says let's try to restart the app. Do we have any unsaved? I think not. Yeah, so let's try npm start. Let's wait for a while for it to render. Yeah, it's still not rendering our main page. Okay, auth provider. Switch public route. Hmm, let's check our index.js. Load roles. Yes, we have that. So here also, let's log in. Super admin. So here, we're trying to see if the user is super admin. If not, it will redirect this. Yeah, I think, yeah. Can someone tell me what could I have been missing? Or I think something's wrong with my context provider. Oh, I see the props. Okay. Uh, so let's go to our auth.js. No. Yeah, here. So I forgot to put the props in here.
Yeah,
So
Gatsby is saying probably missed to pass the props in auth provider.
yeah, because we have the props in here, so we need to also include that in our provider. So see props. See, and then let's wait for it to compile. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we have it. Thank you, Gatsby. Maria, Gatsby. What's
Cool. Thank you, Gatsby. Well, you were on it also, Cleo. At the same time, both of you thought about the same. Good job.
Okay. So yeah. So that's for that. Let's try to log in a super admin. So I have an account here. It says admin at admin.com. Let's see the local storage so that we can see the user details. So I'll say pass123 sign in, and then Uh, so here, let's try to see if this really is a super admin. So as you can see here, user type super admin. So they should redirect to admin page. But another bug has appeared. So in this case, probably it's because when we try to save the user, it says object. So it wasn't able to perform the the logic that it needs to do here in the public and private route because our user is actually object. So let's go back to our auth context JS, and let's try to look at our user. So where is the user again? Yeah, our user. So mhm, response that data that user. Oh, I guess because I'm setting it here, and at the same time I'm setting it also uh, here. Okay, I think I know the error now. We haven't we haven't integrated the login that we have in our auth context. So we need to replace it in the sign up. So let's go here. So that's the reason why it says object because indeed we didn't convert it to string. And again, things that you need to store in your local storage should be in string, just like this one. So ngo directory auth was able to be successfully saved. Okay, let's integrate the login that we have in our use auth. So let's go to here. So first is let's import the use auth. Import use auth from context auth. Okay, and then the next thing we have is to actually use the login. So here before our state, let's say const login, then use auth. Okay, so in this case here, we will not be using this entire thing. Okay, so here we will do the logic in the handle submit. So let's try to cut this. Then let's say if we will return if our form is not valid. So return. And then here, if all else is good, then we will call in login. We will pass in our email and password from our states here again. So email, password, and then next is the catch. So if there are errors, we'll be able to catch it. So in here, we will just, log the error. Error in login. And then we'll say error. Okay, I think this will work. So let's try to save that. Do we have any warnings? Auth is defined but never used. Okay, let's try to get rid of those warnings first. Okay, this one. Then history also. So use history. Because we will not be using the use history now. As you can see here, we history.push list, because all of the redirection that we will have will be managed by our public and private routes. So here we will move that, so we will not have any warnings anymore. So let's go back. Let's try from the top. So let's refresh this, and I'll try say admin.com, and then pass 123, sign in. And as you can see, we're able to go to the admin dashboard. Okay. So admin dashboard, the implementation is that it can go anywhere. It can go also on the list. If it wants to go to the list, then you will have it there. Then can go back also to the admin. So let's test. What if it's a what's this a normal user? So let's remove this manual logout, but we will implement logout after this, so that we can already use this thing here. So remove that and then try to go. We will be redirected to the sign in, and so I will sign in my normal account. Um, I will say, what's my password again? Okay, the password 01, sign in. And then I'll try to go to the admin route, okay? As you can see here, I was redirected to the list. So that is how you do routing by user type. So the next thing we have to do is the logout, okay? And as you can remember, we have logout implemented in our context, right? So we will also convert our current header. Where's our header? We go to our header. Here, our header. You can see we're using also the auth utils auth, but in here we will try to use the logout from our context. So let's do that. Um, so first is, let's comment this out. Let's say import use auth, the same again, use auth, and then from um, context, then auth. Okay. Then next is we will call our logout and our user, because the next thing we will do is put here a welcome, then the name of the user, then we have then logout our buttons here. So let's say we will have the logout function from our context, and then our user. So let's say use auth, okay. And then the next thing we have to do is actually on wait, first let's do the conditional render. So in this case, if user exists, meaning that could be an enough validation, right? If our user is authenticated, because this data won't be saved here if you're not logged in. So let's remove the let's try to change this into, let's say, and why am I using user instead of is logged in? Because because basically we will be needing this data also in our what's this, we will be putting a span there that says welcome user. So next is, let me wrap this up in a React fragment. So you can do like this React fragment. So what are fragments? Fragments are basically, I don't know, there's like empty container. So instead of like using div, because in React if you have your render function, you couldn't have multiple elements inside that render function. Everything should be wrapped under one big element. But then if you don't want to use div, because div is actually like, if you try to inspect element, it will create another element. But if you just want to align those items without creating a div, you can use fragments for that. And so you can use like this, React fragment like that, or simply React fragment like this. Okay, and so we will put this inside the button in our fragment. Okay, and then I will put here a span, span, a span, and I will say welcome. Then we'll put there a strong. Then we'll put there the user dot name. Okay, let's try. So wait, we will do logout later on. So let's see first. As you can see here,
Cleo,
it's
we will have a small break as soon as you're done, okay?
okay. Let's
Great.
have the break now.
You sure? No, just finish what you were showing about the fragment.
Okay, so now here, as you can see, we have the welcome Cleo Credo. But if I try to yeah, so we have here that one. So the next thing we have to do is the logout. So here we have implemented the logout, right? So we will do this in the here in our button logout. So we will have a property there, the event called on click is equal to uh, function and logout. Okay, so let's try that. So what logout does again in our context? So here our logout will basically set everything to null in our state, and then it will remove everything. So let's see. Uh, let's let's try to refresh this. Then we have this here, right? If we click logout, we are redirected to the sign in, and everything is gone. So yeah, we now have our logout. Okay. So let's have the break, and we'll continue after.
Okay, quick break. Come back in 5 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I think second time that our streaming app has been crashing. Can you guys tell me? Okay, so on Facebook, I still see people here, on YouTube also. Okay, guys, can you tell us if the sound is all good now again and the video? Because unfortunately, the streaming application crashed. So it would be awesome if you can tell us on the comments. Hi, Roella. Thank you for inviting your friends. That's cool. We definitely need more software developers in the Philippines. So Roella shared it with Mary Joy. Guys, can you tell us if the sound is good, the video is good, if you're able to be back on the interrupted streaming because of this second crash. It's the second time today that the application is crashing, and I don't know why. Mm, all good. Thank you, Gatsby. Kent, thank you. Kent, I hope everything is all right. I hope you're all healthy. Okay, so we are all good then. Thank you guys for letting us know. So let's get back to coding. All
Yeah,
yours, Cleo.
let's do this. So now that we're done with the logout, there's actually one more thing that's been using the utils JS that we have. So we need to also replace that with the context. So go here and well, actually, this is not it's not using the auth utils JS, but the utils, but then this is like a very direct way of like fetching the user ID that we have. And so, and as you can see here also, when we try to, let's say, log in, let's log in first. Uh, as you can see here, we don't have the user ID anymore. That is why we're not able to fetch anything here. And in our network, there should be an error here. So here in our headers, it says there that user, then null, which is the user ID and organization. So we're having an error in our API call. It's because we're not having the user ID in our local storage. We changed the implementation, and that is why we need to change also that. Okay, so what we need to do is call again our use auth. Mm, here, import uh, use auth from context context then auth. Okay. So this is how we try to selectively get what we will be using from our context. Here we will be just using the user because we will fetch the user ID. And then uh, I need to assign this to use or hook. Okay, so here instead of doing this, I can just directly call um, user ID here. User dot ID. And in this case, I try to run this, but I expect a warning for this. Let's try. And it says that React hook useEffect had a missing dependency, user ID. Either include it or remove it in the dependency array. why is it throwing this particular warning? It's because user this is the dependency array, dependency array, and then whatever value we use outside of use effect, we need to include that here, because aside from like doing what we normally do here, just call the API once. What if we will go to our models, right? Like we click this particular organization, we pass an ID to that organization, and we fetch the data for that specific organization. So that means the user ID will constantly change, right? So we need to keep track of these changes. So useEffect is also helpful in doing that. And so in here, in order to remove this warning, we need to add the user ID in our dependency array. And why is it like a dependency array? Why is it an array? It's because we will not only be using one value outside of our use effect hook. We can have, like for example here, if we decided to have the access token here, then we can also add that in our dependency array. User ID. Okay, let's try to run this, and the warning should be gone. And then let's try if we already can fetch our managed organization. So as you can see here, we're already able to fetch that. And let's see our network if we have an error. So as you can see here, we don't have that anymore. So we're able to get this ID here. I hope that is clear to you. So the next thing that we will do is work on our our header. Look at our header, guys. So we need to have this consistent with something here. So let's not implement the FR for now, okay? So let's just have the user list, NGO list, and the login. And for that, because we will have already the navs in our header, we will also add another page, which is the user list. And in the user list, we will use table, another component in Material UI, so that in our NGO list, we use cards. In our user list, we will be using table, so that you'll be familiar with how the table is look, how we will set things with the table. Okay, so wait, where am I? Yeah, header. So let's go to the header. Hmm, here. So let's look at the. So we will only have these two here. So we'll delete the extra one. Let's say the support. We'll delete the support there. Then let's have here company name. We should also put this the logo of Globe Drop. So let's change features first with what is it again? I always forgot. User list and NGO list. Okay. User list and NGO list. NGO list. Okay. Okay. So next is this one. Our company name. So first is where will we get the image? So the image we can wait there's the code in there that you can use in order to save the logo. Well, this one. Then you click download in there. You click download. It says here, but I already have that. Here it will be downloaded, and you need to export that into your folder. So let's where is that logo? Downloads. I'll just have it on my other let's say here Mm, okay, I'm gonna do a cheat. So I have here images. So I'll copy this. I'll copy. I'm just gonna copy the entire directory. So I'm gonna say copy images, and I'm gonna go to first React app. Where is my first React app located again? PWD. Okay, it's just in the desktop. So where am I again? Desktop, then first React app here, src, then just paste it there. So I now have an image. So I'll go here and import the SVG. So I'm gonna say here import logo from, thanks to our absolute import again, images, then logo. That's right. Oh, here images logo. Okay, logo.svg. Okay, so instead of having it a company name, we will actually do the logo. So let's remove this typography here, and let's add image src. The source will be the logo. Normally, if you have an image with a link, then you can put link also in there. Then let's say alt, because this will throw an error saying you should put some an alt value. Let's say globe drop. Okay, so let's try to save that. It's saved, but it's not running. So let's try to make it run. Hopefully, will run fast. Come on, faster. Okay. Um, so let's go back. And as you can see here, we have our globe drop, but then our what's this? Our other knobs are on the center. So wait, how to do the CSS again for that? Um, okay, let me try. So, mm-hmm. Actually, I need to. Okay, let me redo it. I think I deleted something on the here in the classes. So instead of like deleting everything, I will just put the image here. Sorry again. I'm really not good with CSS, guys, so I will have to stick with all these presets by Material UI. So go drop. Okay, and self-closing. Let's try to run it again. And it's all there. So yeah. And the next thing we have to do is the user list. So let's go to Material UI. I hope it will load fast. Okay, thankfully. So yeah, let's go to the components here and let's search for the tables. So where is the table? Table. There. So when you look at Material UI, they will have these examples here, and then you can just like, you know, try to do the code here. So in my case, what I also, there's a TypeScript. If you guys know TypeScript, there's also a version for that. And then I think what I use is the then stable. This one, customize stable. This is what I use. So let's do this. Let's create another in our views. Let's try to Let's try to minimize the things. So I'm gonna create a new folder here. Uh, I'm gonna call it user list. Okay. So inside user list, I'm gonna have another file called index.js. Index.js. Okay. So in there, let's try to get all of these. Okay. So going back in there, and so I'll put this. Hmm, I'll put this below so that we will see directly our component. So what we're actually like in what we're doing here is that we're only getting the table, but then what we really wanted to do was the same what's this the same layout with the list. So I'm just I actually had a mistake. So I'll just copy this ngo directory just as what I did with the admin. So wait, where is it? Ngo list here. Let me copy that, and I will replace that in the user list. But I'm gonna delete these things here. They're not needed. Okay. And I'm gonna delete also the container because they're not needed. Let's see. And this will be user list. User list. And so let's name this as user list. Okay. So let's remove this also because not used. Also this. But that will be used in a while. So let's try. And then next is we will have to create a route for this. So let's go to our app, and then let's create another private route for that. So this is this one. Let's say users. And then I haven't imported it, so let's import user list. Okay. Then from views dash admin. No, not admin dashboard, but user list. Okay. So user list is what I will render in the component for the path users. Okay. So let's try. I cannot resolve organization grid. User list index.js. Yeah, that's not a child component. Okay. So let's go back. We're authenticated, right? Because we have these things here. So let's go to our users route. Okay, there. So the next thing is the table. So let's put in the table. Mm, user. Okay, so let me just copy this. I hope there will be no duplicates. But I'm just gonna remove this. The next would be where's the hero content here? Then I'm gonna add a table in there, table container. Wait, here. So I'm gonna copy this, put that inside right after. Okay, and then the next thing is the table, the styles. We need to add the styles. So this one, so use styles. We have use styles. Okay, so I will just add this inside the use styles here above. Okay, and I will delete that one. This is like the initial data. So what you see here, this data, but we will replace this with our user data. So in a while, let's form our table first. Table row, table cell, and use styles. I think we're good. Let's try to run this. Okay, so let's go back to our users, and then we have this, our table. Okay, now we have our table. The next thing we have to do is call the API. So, hmm, so this is actually where the set the remember in our context we have set users. So never mind. Actually, I'm wrong. So here, let's create a state that will hold the user. Cons, let's say users, then set users, use state. Then it will be an empty array. So here in our React, we have to import that use state. Okay, so users, yes, use state. And then just as what we did with the NGO list, we have to have the use effect. So here, import use effect, use effect, and then here we will create use effect hook. So use effect that, then this, and then the dependency array. Okay, so now we need another API. So let's go to our API if we have that. So here we have user login, user sign up. So we need another API uh, from our what's this backend. So let's go to our backend. Get all users. So here, get all users. Okay. And then actually this is a protected route. Let's try. So I'm gonna say here get, then users. Gonna say auth token is not supplied. So let's go to our API. Just as what we did with the organization here, we need to have this. So going back here, yes, and then we will need to create a function that will get our users. So export function all users, and then it will have with no parameter. Then it will return API.get, and then the path, which is users, and then it will accept the headers, the authorization header that we have here. Okay, so after that, after doing this, one unsave. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is actually call that in our users list. Okay. In our user list, we will import here the API. So say import all users. Okay. From API, user API. You may be wondering, why are you not putting that in context, Cleo? It's because this is not related to authentication. This may be a user data, but then not related to authentication. So so all users, right? So next is going to our use effect. Here we need to create a function that says const load users. This will be an async function with no parameters. And then inside is I'm gonna store the response of the API call, and I'm gonna await that because I need to make sure this is executed. Oh wait, what is this? Okay. Here, this one. Again, in our API call, this doesn't have any parameter. Then I will need to say, I'll just log the response for viewing purposes in our developer tools. And then we have the response data. Because that's the structure. This is the structure for the response in Axios. But then this one, because the way we designed our API to wait, do I actually have that? Anyway, never mind. So I designed my API to actually have a data key field in the return JSON. So yeah, and then set users. This is where we will store whatever we were able to fetch from our API. So there, just like what we did with the NGO list, really. So after that is we need to call this load users. That okay. So in here in our table, it's time to traverse things. So in here let's try to match our what's this? So what do we have in our user? We will just display the name, email, language, and country, including the username. So let's do that. Let's change this. This will be the column title. So username, mm, the name, then this will be email, and country. Then no language, then country, language. Then last would be country. So here, instead of rows, because we have that data here for static, for showing, we need to use what? The users, right? This one. So we need to map that here, users, that map. And then we will need to actually try to match whatever fields we have there in our user data. So here we will say user. We traverse users array map. For every user, we will say user dot username because that's the first column. Next would be use. Oh no, this will be the key. Okay, the key. Then this will be the value that we will store. Okay. Next would be our username. I mean name, user dot name. So let's say user dot name. Okay. Then here, still user, but then email. Yes. Then language. Then uh, country. So username, then name, email, language, country. Okay, let's try to see what happens. So go back to the terminal. Yeah, we will delete this later on. Let's see the output first. Going back, as and you can see, this is the data that I have in my database. So going here. So yeah, this is how you display data in your user table. Okay, the next thing we have to do is actually assign them into the navigations here. Because as you can see in our header, going back to the header, or let's just try, this doesn't really do anything, right? So we have to put the link in there. So let's go to the header and let's go here in the href. Let's say it will go to the users. And then for the NGO list, it will go to the slash list. Okay, let's try to run that. Okay, we have a warning here. Let's delete the rows. Here rows. Then we will also delete the create data function because that's not needed. Okay, and here we don't have any warning. So let's try to straight to here. The users list, yes, and an NGO list. Okay, now we have a good header and we have the pages that we have so far. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is now that we have the table for your homework, you need to implement that in the admin. So I'll log out, okay, and I will do the admin. So pass 123. We sign in. So here it's pretty, what's this? It's lonely. So we need to put here a table. So what our admin dashboard will look like is that it has two tables. First table will be the user list. Second table will be the NGO list. But the thing is, it's different from the users because in here we will have an additional column here that says actions. Okay? So what actions will do is that it will have a cross icon, a pencil icon, and a trash icon. So what are those icons for? So it will imagine here we have a cross, we have pencil, and we have trash. When you click this, it will trigger a pop-up, a modal or a dialog box, and it will be for adding, for editing, and for deleting specific records. So that's the difference between this table and the table that we will have in our admin. Why is that? Because admin will have total control for all the records that we have in our application. That is why it has the crude actions, the create, retrieve, update, and delete. Well, the retrieve actually is there already because you're displaying the data in the table. Yeah, so that will be for your homework. The next thing we have to do is use alerts. So far, what we've tried to do here is that just the successful what's this successful login. What if your user actually will input the wrong credentials? So you need to inform your users that they have done so. So how will you do that? So there is a component called alerts, alert here in the material UI. So we can use this in order to show that. So but first, this is located in the lab. lab section for the, this is not in the core. So as you can see here in the, here we're using core. So, but then this is under lab. So we need to install that material UI lab. I hope my internet will be able to show me the npm material lab. Here, come on, faster. So, we will install that. So let's first npm install. Still not loading. So material. Okay, I'll just type it. So here, there, then dash dash save. So that we can use the alert. I hope it's already. Let's go back here. Okay, let's first import that alert. So where will we use the alert? Basically, we will use the alert. Okay, I have an error. I think I need to use sudo here. So sudo for permissions. Then I need to enter my password. Then that would be all good. So we will go to the sign in, and then this is where we will implement the alert. So sign in. So I will say import. Okay, actually, it's here. Oh no. Never mind. I'll just type it manually. So alert from that material UI lab, then slash alert. Okay. So what we will do is we will create a state that will hold whatever the error response. So in here, let's create that. Let's say const error response. Then set error response. Set error response. Okay. Then use state. I'll just have an empty string for the initial value. Okay. And then here in our catch block, here when we have an error, let's set our error response. And we don't really want to give too much clues about what the error is from the API request, because that will be a security threat. So let's just say invalid username and password, or password. Okay. So now we have that. We need to integrate this with our alert. So here, I want to integrate that on the top, just below the header. So I'm gonna say conditional rendering again. Say if error response is not empty, that means it has a value, then it will render the alert. Alert, and then I will just have the severity. The severity is actually what type of error we have, since this is like an real error. So I will just put here error that will give us red. In Bootstrap, that's called danger. Severity, error, yes. And then after that is what is the text that we will show. Here, we'll just have the error response. Okay, let's try to invent this. Save that, and let's try to run. Hope we don't have any unsafe data here. Okay, let's wait for a while for our, yeah, it's compiled already. Let's go back. So here, let's log out. So I will try an error response. So as you can see, it says here invalid username or password. So yeah, that's how you use it. Okay. Do you still have time? We still need to integrate our sign up. This one. So let's do that quickly. Uh, I was hoping to initialize the dialog model, but then probably we're running out of time. So let's do the sign up. So in here, let's go to our sign up. So we have a, let me move this into to the bottom so that I can see right away the structure of my component. Okay, let me put that up. Okay, so here let's create some states that will hold the value of these fields right here. Okay, so okay, and I have to import the use state. Okay, so I will need to have the username, name, email, password, language, country, and the type of user. So mm, let's do this. How many was that? Uh, 7. We have 7. So that's 3, 4, 5. No, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So name, set name, then email, set email, and then we have password, set password, then language, set language, then country, then set country, then lastly is the if it's an NGO admin or not. So set NGO admin. So as you'll know, the default user type we have is user. So let's just have that. There are 3 types, remember? User, NGO admin, and super admin. So let's have that first. The next thing we have to do is call the sign up function. First, okay, let's not do that. Let's first set the values that we have here in our fields. So this will be, are this already all okay? Still not same. Okay, okay. So username, this will be like uname, then username, and then ID would be username, then label would be user name. And then the value for this would be the state that we have. So it will be user name. Okay. Then if we type, we need to capture also that. The same with how we did with the login. We have the on change. We have on change event property, and we pass that with an event and function here. Set username. Set username. Yes, then key target value. Okay, so that would be for the username, and we have a long way to go. I think let's continue this on the next meeting. Is that all right, Batis? So that we can have a little more interaction with the participants. I mean, for with the
Yes, are we far away from
yeah, we have many fields here. Yeah, let's do that on the next meeting.
okay, that's fine. Let's cut it up for today, guys. I think if we continue, we can continue for ages, right? The
Yeah,
the
still had
front the front end will require a few more hours to be fully completed. Cool.
hmm
So what did you get out of these streaming, guys, in YouTube, Facebook, and the other streaming app? Were you able to follow everything that Cleo described? Are you satisfied with the new learning for today? What did you learn exactly? That would be great to know if there is anything that we can iterate. For the next session, what would you like to see regarding this React.js? If
hmm
if ever you have something, please comment below. That would be great.
your homework, I remember, for the admin dashboard, implement the table. Yeah. So there's actually a challenge there. So remember, we have two tables, the user and the organization. So what you will do there is that just as how we did it with the organization card and grid, you have to extract the table and make it a child component of the index.js for the admin dashboard. So that's like the application part of what we're doing now. So do we have a prize for for the one who will get never mind. So yeah, so that will be your homework. So we would really appreciate if you can post like if you're having difficulties, you can go to our Facebook group or Discord channel so that we can help you out. The real thing will happen if you get your hands dirty. So guys, really do this project and you will really learn, because if you just listen to me, then you won't really be experiencing all the bugs that we have been encountering so far. So it will be good if you'll be experiencing them also. So do your homework. TLDR, do your homework.
It's a must. It's a
Yeah.
must. There is no learning if you don't struggle all by yourself. Trust me, I do the courses that Cleo is giving us, and I do have some issues. Maybe can we recap, Cleo, while hopefully someday will come in to see to know what they've been learning, if there is anything that they learn new, or if there is something that they didn't understand. So the
Mhm.
today's session, we broke out all the different NGO list page components, all
The
these
card and the grid.
tiny cards. So we've been building it as a separate component, so we are able to use again and again these component, which is great. Then we initialize the admin dashboard, right?
Mhm.
What went after? I think the use context hook.
Yeah, the context, we created a provider and we defined the context values as well as the functions, and we replaced the utils auth uh, values and function that we have, because it's nice to use the hooks, and it's more organized also, and we're able to use local storage for having a wrapper, instead of like directly accessing the local storage. So we have that. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So.
Then the admin dashboard routing based on the user type. So
Mm-hmm.
based on your NGO admin or your super admin, etc. So rerouting. The user list table with
Mm-hmm.
some great easy CSS from Cleo.
I
Uh,
For the header, we able to like customize the header according to the design
that's
in Fluid.
fine. The for now we are not focusing on the CSS, HTML. The
Yeah.
most important, we focus on the hardcore part of React.js. The flowers around the interface, that could be a completely different topic.
Mm-hmm.
We implemented the alerts
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
already during login,
Mm-hmm.
and we were currently working on integrating the sign up. No, we integrate the sign up
Not yet. We're still creating
in
the
the
state.
middle? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we assign the states on the fields, but not all. So that's where we stop. Next meeting, we will be calling the API for sign up, and we will be redirecting the user to the login to the list path after he or she signed up. So yeah.
Yep. And then the dialogue modal, we will tackle it also in next session, right?
Yeah. Remember the NGO list has cards, and it has view, and it has edit, and
Mm,
also in the we will put a plus a plus icon beside the NGO list, so that we can add we can add an organization there, and we will
yep,
put a feature there that if you're the one who added the NGO list, then your user ID will be added as the NGO admin for that organization. So
correct.
yeah.
Because
Mm.
that's exactly the plan, is that any user of this platform could add an NGO. Let's say that
Mm.
you heard about an NGO that does I don't know, a feeding program in your city or whatever. You can create it for them. You can invite other NGO admin for that one, so you guys can start can edit the information about the NGO, etc. So yeah, and super admin also will have the privilege to be deleting an NGO,
Mhm.
and supposedly also we should have a flag saying publish yes or no,
Mm.
so that the super admin can do. So
Yeah.
yeah, all these dialogue modal, we will tackle it next time. So
Mhm.
I think that's it. I'm trying to see if some of our YouTubers and Facebookers, they want to discuss with us, but no.
Yeah. Do you have any questions or any suggestions on how to, things that you want to discuss in React?
Guys,
Come on, guys. Are you sleepy? Come
say
on.
something. I know it's 10 p.m., right? We are all sleepy. Doesn't Okay, never mind. It's all good. And you see, we had the comments last half an hour ago, so I think maybe it's time to go to bed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. This video will be available online for replay, so you can practice on these exercises. Very good. Thank you, Christopher. And we'll do obviously more about React.js, because you are not yet expert by just following um, the few sessions we've done. Expertise in React.js, or really starting to master and be good at it, will take a little bit more. So please make sure you practice your programming skill. Replay, build your own code, write it, upload it on GitHub. Some they are asking me if we can provide a certificate. Yes, we could provide a certificate, but not just watching the stream. For having a certificate, you need to write your code yourself. So upload
Mhm.
it on your GitHub. Make sure you give us your GitHub profile so we can look at it and we can indeed provide the certificate once you've done your part of the course.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's it. What else am I missing? So let's meet again next week,
Mhm.
and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Am I forgetting something? No, I don't think so. So thank
Can
you.
we
Hmm?
get like them excited on the next course, or is it too soon?
For what will be the topic of the next course?
Yeah, too soon.
Actually,
Too
we
soon.
don't know yet, right? We are waiting our options. Oh, let's keep a teaser, I think.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
anyway, you will be aware of it if you subscribed on YouTube or if you liked our Facebook page, or if you're part of our Discord or Facebook Startechup Academy group. We will make sure that we give you a heads up, but it's gonna be cool. Anyway, it's gonna be as cool as the one we've done already so far. So stay tuned.
yeah, I think that's it. Uh,
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the hiccups on the streaming today. Hopefully, it won't happen again. Computer science, it crashes sometimes. All right. Bye bye, Cleo.
bye, Baptiste,
Have a good
and bye.
evening. Thank you,
Have,
Maestra. Thank you, thank you. Thank
thank
you,
you, everyone.
Jepoy. Thank you, everyone. Gatsby, Christopher, Jay. Thank you, guys. See you next
Rochelle,
week.
bye bye.
Bye bye.